Which movie villain do you agree with? The probe from the voyage home. All it wanted to do was talk to some whales. The puppet master from the original Ghost in the Shell movie. All he really asked for was asylum. There is a scene where, before going on a rampage, it demands asylum and rights to a trial to which the humans pretty much ignore. It's only after demanding its rights and being denied that it decides to go guerrilla. Colonel Kurtz. We train young men to drop fire on people, but their commanders won't allow them to write fuck on their aeroplanes because it's obscene. Hades. Not in any specific movie, but just the fact that he's always a villain despite him just chilling in the underworld, doing his job, and not causing mass genocide, like the other gods. The worst thing he did was kidnap a teenage girl, but compared to Zeus, the hero in all these damn movies, he's not that bad. Agreed. The vilification of Hades is ridiculous. Doc Ock. I'm not saying that I'd sooner rob a bank than beg for grant money, but I get where he's coming from. I just like how that movie was made in the 2000s, but still had Ock carrying sacks with $$ out of the bank and throwing them at Spidey. Spider-Man was robbing the bank too. He is a menace. Dr. Freeze. The guy just wanted to find a way to save his wife. Batman even once tried to help him with it. So many Batman villains either got the shit end of some stick or another, or were just really misunderstood and trying to get through with disordered thinking. Part of the reason I love Batman stories. The dad from Dirty Dancing. He was just trying to keep his underage daughter from fucking the local troublemaker. A local troublemaker he logically thought had knocked up a girl, got her a dodgy abortion, and was now trying to fuck his daughter. Dude was just trying to protect his daughter from a predator, from the information he had. Barbossa and his crew from Pod C1. They found a bunch of gold coins sitting around, traded them as currency like anyone would, and were severely punished for no good reason. If you think about it, had the rum runners not showed up, Jack Wold starved to death, or shot himself on the island he was marooned on, so I'd say that Barbossa's mutiny was cause for punishment. Not to mention they threw Bootstrap Bill in the sea stuck to a cannon to die. That's pretty messed up too. Chief Inspector Dreyfus from the Pink Panther movies. Maybe I wouldn't have gone as far as he did, but I understand his frustration. I agree with Ken from the Bee movie. His GF got pissed at him for trying to kill a bee, something that he was allergic to, meaning it was potentially life-threatening. Frankly, Vanessa was terrible for dumping him because he tried to kill an insect. It's like getting mad at someone for refusing shrimp because they have a shellfish allergy. I know he's not the main villain, but he was the secondary one. If Vanessa left him for a goddamn bee, then maybe they're better off without each other. Yes, that shit was insane. Wicked Witch of the West. Bitch dropped a house on my sister and stole her shoes, I'd be out for blood too. I mean, when your name has Wicked in it, at some point you just have to lean in. Hades would not be too happy if I was forced to rule over hell by my younger siblings. Somehow the god of the dead is always associated with evil. Hades doesn't personally kill anyone himself. He just takes care of the dead after they come to the underworld. That is his job. He got the short end of the stick in comparison to Zeus and Poseidon in my opinion. That's why I love how he's depicted in the Dresden Files. A powerful chill god who's much more responsible than his brothers and does his duty. Also, a dog person lol. Cerberus are good boys. T-Rex from Jurassic Park. Also, the Indominus Rex. You made a living kill machine, with abilities that far exceed those of your measures to control it, and expect it to live its life in a small cage like a cat? Heck, even cats won't stay in cages. General Grievous. His people were massacred by the GD for reasons that were false. He was then physically crippled for the rest of his life, outside of his exoskeleton, and was told that the GD were to blame. He destroyed as many as he could, and took their weapons as a trophy, to exact his revenge for the GD ruining his life, and pushing his people to the brink of extinction. He's one of my favorite characters. Interesting character and backstory. Agreed. It's a shame how weak he seems and rots. Thank goodness 2003 Clone Wars is a thing. Maybe I don't want to be the bad guy anymore. I'm bad and that's good. I will never be good and that's not bad. There's no one I'd rather be than me. Goddamn, I love this movie. poison ivy. All she wants is more plants and less destruction. I kind of understand the Ice King's motives. He's just really lonely, and he wants to be friends with Finn and Jake, and he wants a GF. However, kidnapping people isn't cool. He's also just a really great character. He started out a Simon, and then slowly went insane, after he found the crown, and put it on. He forgot his entire identity, and became the Ice King. Ice King's desire for princesses stems from half-remembered echoes of Simon's old girlfriend, Betty. Even his insanity was a conscious decision, a sacrifice he made after putting on the crown to save young Marceline. That episode still gets me every damn time. Not a movie, but Robbie Rotten from Lazy Town. As an adult, you get it. You want sleep. You want cake. You want quiet. You want to be lazy. There were moments where you could be like, I feel ya bro. And of course, deep down there, you want to be the number one. Now listen closely. Here's a little lesson in trickery. This is going down in history. The Grinch. He just wants to live alone in his gaff with a dog and who people won't stop bothering him. Not from a movie, but Scar from Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Buddy had all his people pretty much wiped out by the government, and then targets government alchemists in revenge. Brotherhood did such a good job with setting up Scar as a villain, and then slowly revealing the truth about the Ishvalan Civil War. Mega mind, but if you were to say that he wasn't a villain, then how BC he's right, there is no Queen of England. He wasn't a villain. He was a supervillain. Oh yeah, what's the difference? Presentation. Roy Batty. He's an escaped slave who is pissed his girlfriend and friends will die soon anyway from 4-year lifespans they were genetically engineered with. The main people he and his group kills or injures are morally bankrupt genetic engineers who became rich off slavery and corrupt racist cops. The book paints them in a very different light. They lack empathy and don't really understand why it's important. Newtwo. Making stronger versions of existing Pokémon is basically the point of Pokémon breeding. But if he wasn't stopped, he probably would have killed all of humanity. Mew would have saved us eventually. If not, I have Mega Gyarados and Darkrai that can help out. Captain Hook. If a little boy chopped off your hand and fed it to a crocodile, you'd probably want to kill him too. Didn't he only get his hand chopped off because he was trying to kill the boy? To add insult to injury, he had to get a used hook from a second-hand store. Take your upvote and get out. When I saw Spider-Man Homecoming, I was like, hey, wait a minute. Adrian Toomes, Vulture actually has a point here. The government and Tony Stark completely fucked him over with malice aforethought. After that opening scene, I was like, fuck Tony Stark. I'm with Toomes on this one. My fiance has a theory that a lot of Spider-Man villains are analogs for disabled people and poverty. It's rather noticeable how many of them are physically disabled in some way and turn to supervillain stuff after being really screwed over by society. Making all the people Tony fucked over evil villains who the hero must beat is my biggest issue with Spider-Man movies recently. The Wolves in The Day After Tomorrow. Just some hungry boys doing their best. The real villains of that movie were the fools who burnt the antique books for warmth, rather than literally everything else in the room, including replaceable books. There was a whole section of tax law. Isma from Emperor's New Groove, cause Ko was arrogant and neglectful. Yeah, but she abused Krank a lot. She never liked his spinach puffs. That's it, she's going down. Magneto. He always thought humans would try to destroy mutants, and he was right because they tried. He might have not been completely right, but man, it's hard not to feel some sympathy for him after the shitty hand that life dealt him early on. As much as I'll miss Hugh Jackman as Wolverine, I will miss Ian McKellen's performance as Magneto. Him along with his real-life best friend, Patrick Stewart, were absolutely perfect as Professor X and Magneto. They could not have cast anyone else as Professor X without it being a huge missed opportunity. Gordon Ramsay from Kitchen Nightmares. It's fucking raw. Jaws. I like it, but I'm curious for your reason. What is it? Shark bite. Understandable. Have a great day.